Today we're at the Arbor School Dubai with their principal. Brett, can you introduce yourself, your background and expertise, and your school?
My name is Brett Girven. My background is as a zoologist and environmental scientist, and I began my teaching career in my native New Zealand. Since then I've worked in education, either as a teacher or an educational leader in the United Kingdom, in Saudi Arabia and here in the Middle East. In the UAE I've been for more than 10 years. My opportunity to lead the Arbor School was really a fantastic chance to lead an ecological school based in the national curriculum, the British curriculum as most people would know it. And I guess the unique nature of our school is that we're educating not only to ensure that our children have those fundamental skills, the skills and knowledge that the British curriculum outlines so carefully, but also an understanding of what we call eco-literacy, which is this concept that to try and solve any challenge that the world's faced, any big problem in isolation, will essentially not produce the best solution that we're looking for. So we need to think in interconnected networks, systems thinking. And so by doing so, we hope that our children will be able to produce better solutions for the problems of the future.
In this video, we're asking school leaders to paint us a picture of what school will look like in the future. Will they be better, worse, or different? Brett, can you give me 3 things you think are coming down the track?
I certainly hope they were better, but schools have always been a hotbed for change, driven by many things, from new pieces of research, from pedagogy, a little bit by feel, but also other influences such as the disruption we're facing now and the political nature of educational systems throughout the globe. So what I believe is coming down the track, somewhat in response to what we've seen recently, it also just changes over time. First of all is this concept of being agile, responsive and personalised. So it's no longer okay to offer a one-size-fits-all model. And so making sure that what suits our students and our families is really going to be important. We need to be able to respond quickly to any changes and make sure that we're personalising the journey, whether it's on-site, whether it's remote, whether it's a combination of the two. So that's the first change I think that will happen if it hasn't happened already. Secondly is I think the thing that most people are missing right now in terms of schooling in Dubai is the connections. The idea that a school is more than just a place to learn English and maths, it's a community. And so making sure that schools capitalise on being that community is really important. So the things that we prioritise when we're on site may change, and certainly for us as a school we're reimagining what learning looks like. So the key fundamentals don't change, but how we deliver that and ensuring that children have really strong connections and relationships with their peers, with their teachers, but also that families recognise this as a community hub, not just somewhere to ensure that the children are passing exams, all those sorts of ideas. And thirdly, I think the next part will be linked really to what happened when we had to move online so quickly, which was the question that all educational leaders asked or should have asked themselves of what works, what do we know to work? And we certainly asked that big question as soon as we moved online. And although there's been a move towards that in some schools, I think that will accelerate much more rapidly now as leaders asking themselves, what do we know to work in school, and making sure that we're basing all of our practices on research-based practice rather than just by feel. And so those ideas will crystallise and teaching will become, well, pedagogy is the art and science, but I think we now will really focus on understanding the science of learning and then the art of the delivery in school. So there'll be a real focus now on research-based practice.
Brett, so what is the single key change you think is coming in the next 10 years that will transform education for the better?
Well, I think it's largely here, but it will accelerate as we've seen it do so already, and that's obviously the impact of technology. So technology changes and provides opportunities and disruptive opportunities so quickly that it will change what we do. Maybe there will be elements that stay the same, and so those fundamental understandings and the ability to be a literate numeric communicator, exposed to the best ideas that we have that have been said and thought and done. Those won't change, but the delivery of that will change and will be influenced by technologies. So whether children and families choose to do parts of their learning off-site, whether they choose to pick and mix through different schools, whether they choose to go to a school only for the connections and do parts at home, I think what we will see now is a diversification within the market based on technology, where children and families can have a better selection of options that they can harness through technology.
Thank you very much, Brett, for your time today. Thank you.